guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faye, and as you can see by the title, today's video is going to be a get ready with me. I'm going to be getting ready and using all of the products, well, not all of the products, but some of the products that I shared with you guys in my recent Sephora recommendations video. As you guys know, the Sephora sale, the holiday savings event, is in full swing. So yeah, if you guys are shopping the sale, I wanted to at least show you guys some of the products that I recommended in my video in action on the face. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys in today's video. If you enjoy, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like the vibe of the channel, be sure to subscribe down below. And if you want to see how to get this look using some of my current favorite Sephora recommendations, then let's get into the video. All right, so I got y'all zoomed in, as you can see, so y'all can see what we got going on. The first thing I'm going to do is prime my face, and I'm going to be using this primer from Milk Makeup. Get into the packaging, but this is the Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. I have been loving this. If you are somebody that wants a primer to control oil and also smooth your pores, this is the primer that you need. Now, of course, I'm extra, so I'm gonna layer some other primers, but I've really been loving this one. It absorbs into the skin quickly and really nicely. As you can see, it's pretty much already rubbed in, and it wears really nicely underneath makeup. So we're already looking a little bit more matte than we were. Next, I'm gonna use this primer right here. This one is from Cali Ray. I've been loving this primer as well. Really great primer if you want to smooth and blur your pores. So if you need a little bit extra, I would recommend this one. And I'm just gonna focus this on my pores, and then I also like to bring it under my eyes because I do have some fine lines there, down in my smile lines, on my nose, a little on my forehead, just whatever's left on my fingers. And I find that this primer really does a great job of like really filling in any fine lines, like I said, pores if you have large pores, which I do, so I need all the help that I can get. And then last but not least for primers, I'm going in with this one also from Milk Makeup. If you are not new to my channel, you guys know how much I love this one. I didn't mention it in my recommendations because honestly, I've mentioned this primer so many times, repurchased it so many times, so I didn't want to repeat mentioning that again, but she's still here. Definitely a holy grail. I use every single time I do my makeup. Between this one and this one from e.l.f., which is a really great dupe if you don't want to spend the coin on the one from Milk, I always use one of the two of those as the last primer in whatever primer concoction I do for the day, because it's going to make your skin really nice and like tacky and grippy, so that whatever product you put on top is really gonna lock onto it and hold it in place. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into foundation. I did go ahead and switch out my Haus Labs foundation. If you missed it, I did film a whole review on this foundation. The first shade that I got, it was a little bit too dark, so I did return that one, and I got this shade, which is 350 Medium Cool. So this is the foundation that we're going to be using today. I wanted to give you guys an update so that you could see how this shade applies to the skin and how the color looks and all of that. I have worn this foundation once, I think, already. And the color, like I said, way better match than the previous shade that I had. So we're just gonna apply this to the face and blend it out. Okay, so foundation is on. As you can see, way better match than the first shade. If you missed my previous video, like I said, make sure you go check that out after this video if you want to see like a whole rundown 7-hour wear test of this foundation. But yeah, this shade, if you are one of my shade twins, foundation twins, 350 Medium Cool is definitely a much better match than the shade that I had in that video. So next up is concealer. I'm going to go in with these two, Sephora and Fenty Beauty. I have Fenty in 300 and Sephora in shade 34.5 in. I've really been loving the Sephora concealer. It's full coverage, natural finish, long wear, just a great overall concealer. And then the Fenty one is also really nice and hydrating under the eye and is going to brighten underneath there as well, so that we can have a nice highlighted under eye. So to set my face, I'm going to be going in with a mixture of 2 setting powders. I have them mixed together in this Laura Mercier container. The first one is the Sephora translucent setting powder, and then the second one is actually this new powder from Laura Mercier. And this is the translucent loose setting powder ultra blur. So I have those 2 mixed together in this container, and I'm going to use that to set my entire face. And then to set my eyelids, I'm actually going in with this powder from Urban Decay. You guys already know the vibes. I've talked about this powder so many times. This powder is a must-have. If you don't have it, don't even think about it. Just throw it in the cart and get it. It's so good for so many different reasons. I use this powder literally all over my entire face to set my makeup, to set my primers, just to keep me matte throughout the day, to touch up throughout the day. This is just a great overall multi-purpose powder that you need, whether you are oily or not. This powder is top tier. So I didn't mention it in my recommendations because at this point, I've told y'all about this powder so many times. If you don't have it, what are you doing? Just go ahead and throw it in the cart and get it. But today I'm using it to set my eyelids, just to keep them from creasing throughout the day. Okay, so I added a little bit of powder underneath my eyes to bake a little bit while we move on to the next step, and that is going to be cream contour. So for that, I'm going to be using, I mentioned 2 of them to you guys. I mentioned the Charlotte Tilbury one in my recommendations and the LYS. I don't know which one I should use. I feel like I used this one the most recently in the video, so I'm going to use LYS today. This is their No Limits cream contour and bronzing stick, I think is what it's called. I'll have everything I use for this video linked for y'all down below, but this is what the packaging looks like. Super cute. I'm obsessed with all of LYS's packaging, honestly. And this one is in the shade Courage, the same color that I have her powder bronzer in as well. And I'm going to be using this brush. I like to use this for cream contour. It's like a little flat brush. This one is from Morphe. It just gives me really good control when applying the product and helps me to get a nice chiseled cheek. And you guys can see how even though I've set underneath my eyes and some of that powder kind of is on my cheek area and I set my forehead, how nicely that bronzer still applied to my face. This bronzer, y'all, is so good. So I'm going to bring a little bit down my jawline. I didn't add anything else to the brush. I'm really just kind of dragging whatever is left over on my jawline. And then I'm also going to bring some on the sides of my nose. Again, still not adding any other product, just kind of using whatever is left over on the brush. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows off camera. I'm using the brow pencils I always use, my Benefit Goof Proof and my Precisely My Brow, both in the shade number 4. And then I'll be back to finish up the rest of this makeup look. Okay, so brows are sculpted. I also went ahead and dusted off that extra powder. Just as a side note, one of my favorite concealers to use for sculpting my brows is this one from NARS. This is their Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I use a skin tone shade for the top of my brow and then a lighter shade for underneath my brow. So just wanted to mention that real quick. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is set my cream bronzer. And since I use the LYS bronzer, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury, the LYS cream bronzer. I'm going to use Charlotte Tilbury powder bronzer to set the face. So this one is, of course, the Airbrush bronzer. I have mine in the shade number 310. Again, get into the packaging. We love to see it. And you honestly get so much product in here. I have used this so many times and I haven't even put a dent in this product. So yeah, we're just going to use this to set all of the cream areas in place. Since I do have oily skin, we want to make sure they're not moving around throughout the day. So we're going to just set them with a powder bronzer. Okay, so I'm not really a big blush girl. Like, I don't really have a ton of blushes that I just keep on hand, but I at least wanted to use one that you can get from Sephora. If you like it, you can get it during the sale. So I pulled this one out from my blush drawer. This one is from NARS. I actually haven't used this in a minute, so I don't know. If we're loving her, I might have to throw her in my everyday makeup drawer. This one is in the shade Dolce Vita. And this is what the color looks like. Just a really nice kind of peachy pink shade. So that's what we're going to use on the face today for blush. Okay, so blush is on. I might have went a little overboard because it seemed like it wasn't really showing up at first, but this is definitely like a buildable shade. I think this is a really pretty color, especially for like the fall time, because it's like a muted kind of pink shade. It's almost leaning a little bit plum, but not too much. So, I mean, I like it. I'm into it. Also, I realized that I forgot to like set my whole face. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to use my Fenty powder foundation. I have mine in the shade number 345, and I'm just gonna lightly set everything just to melt all of the different powders and creams all together, and you know, just to kind of tone down the blush a little bit. Okay, so the face is set. Before I actually move on to anything else, I'm going to do a little something on the eyes. Nothing too crazy, but I mentioned in my Sephora recommendations video that this palette from Fenty is really great also for your eyes. So I'm going to show you guys how I use it for that today. You could really do something super basic with this palette, or you could glam it up with a smoky eye. I don't think I'm going to do like anything too crazy like I said, but I did want to show you like a really easy way to use this to just add some dimension into the eyes without doing too much, but still kind of give yourself a little bit something extra. So this is the Fenty Sunstalker Face Eye Bronzer Highlight Palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. So you have some bronzer shades, and then you have 2 highlight shades. You also have a mirror on there, or inside of there as well. So I'm gonna go in first with this shade, which is my actual bronzer shade. This one is in the shade Caramel Cutie, and we're just gonna buff that back and forth in the crease real quick. Okay, so for like a quick everyday look, I would honestly just stop here, throw on some mascara, finish up the rest of my face and keep it moving. But I'm just going to add a little bit of extra dimension into the crease just to show you guys what it would look like. So for that, I'm going to mix all 3 of these lash shades together. Not too much of this one because I don't want to go too crazy, but I do want to add a little bit of depth. So like mostly this one, a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one, and we're going to buff that on the outer V and a little bit into the crease. Okay, so actually on second thought, I kind of like how this color looks. So I'm just gonna mix the 3 of these shades together and put it all over my entire lid. And then the beautiful thing about this is, since all of these are basically bronzer shades, you can just pull this color right on into that contour, and it all just seamlessly blends right together. So that crease color, you can just pull it right on down into that inner, like that inner area where your contour starts at the top of your nose, and just kind of connect and blend all of that together, and then right up into your brow as well. So that's the eye. Super simple. It looks like you did a lot, but you really didn't. You just mixed a bunch of shades together, threw them on your eye, and blended it out. Very simple to do. Okay, so before we do anything else, I'm just going to set the face a little bit. I'm using this. Again, I did mention to you guys that the packaging on this is different. They did rebrand. It is still the Photo Finish Setting Spray, but the packaging is different, so I'll have the link for y'all down below. I'm going to set my face, and then I'm going to show you guys a quick little tip on something I do to keep flawless under eyes all day. Okay, so I just spray my face. Before it completely dries down, I'm going to let it dry down probably like 80–90%. I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever. This is the Matte Velvet Skin Powder, and I'm actually going to use the lighter shade. So this doesn't come like this. I mentioned this to you guys in a previous video. It normally comes with like a black sponge on this side, but I don't use the sponge, and since I had two shades, I just threw the other one in here just so I can have them both together. It's not like in here magnetized because again, this is normally the sponge side, but I just have it sitting in here. This is the shade Y375, which is the shade I'm going to be using for underneath my eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sponge, I'm going to dip it into the powder, not too much, and while it's still a little bit wet underneath my eye, I'm going to go in and set it again. So just take it right up underneath there. This is also a really great way to like clean up the outer edge with that eyeshadow. You see it just like snatched it a little bit, and also down the side of my nose where the contour is. Like anywhere you kind of need to clean up, you see how it just cut it right there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And what that's going to do, I don't know if you guys can see the difference. I probably should have waited to do this side so that you guys would have a comparison. But what that's going to do is literally smooth out your under eye. I don't know if you noticed, but it also smoothed out my pores right here in this area as well. And it just kind of like gives it like that final finished snatch to the face, if that makes sense. Over here on underneath my contour, it just kind of like just brought everything together. So that's something I've been doing, whether I'm doing like a full glam face like this or just like a regular quick beat. I will set my face and then go in with this powder under my eyes to just kind of like melt and bring everything together. I like the way it looks. You can do it or not do it. Either way, these powders are really good. I do recommend them to you guys, but that is one of the ways that I like to use that powder, and I've been using it like that lately. So this is how the face is looking so far. Real quick, I'm going to add a little bit of highlighter. I'm going to be using this one from LYS. This is the Aim High pressed highlighting powder, and I'm using the shade Genuine, which is a rose gold. Love this. I'm not going to use a lot. I haven't been going crazy on the highlighters lately. I just like to do a little bit like right on that highest part of my cheek, and I don't bring it down like how we used to do like the whole cheek. I don't bring it all the way down. I literally just sit it right on that highest point and bring it up kind of like in that little C shape right there. Same thing on the other side, right on that highest point, and then up around kind of like where the light is going to naturally hit my face. And then with whatever is left on the brush, I'm just going to hit the very top of my nose, and that's it for the highlight. Nothing crazy. And then I am going to set my face one more time. Well, this won't be the last time, but I am going to set my face again with the Smashbox setting spray. Okay, that's how the face is looking. And I'm going to apply my lashes real quick and throw on some mascara, and then I'll be back to do the lip. All right, so we're back. My lashes are on. I have on the same lashes I always wear, which are the Eyelure times Jordan Woods Tropic Like It's Hot. You can get them from Ulta. You can get them from Target. Literally the same lashes I wear all the time. Absolutely love them. Very affordable, and they get the job done. So that's what I have on my eyes for lashes. I went ahead and did my lower lash line. I just mixed those same shades that we used on the lid and ran them underneath the lower lash line and added mascara. And then for the inner corner, I mixed the two highlight shades in this palette and popped them on the inner corner. So that's all y'all missed while I was off camera. So last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and do the lip. And let's see, first things first, we need a lip liner. So I don't really have any lip liners, I don't think, that are from Sephora. Well, I might have some, but I don't really spend a ton of money on lip liners, honestly, because I feel like the drugstore will get it done. Now I do have some lip products, but lip liners, you know, if y'all have some recommendations, leave them for me down below in the comments. But I keep it pretty simple when it comes to the lip liners. So I'm going to be using this one from ColourPop. It's the one I always use in BFF3 to line the lips. Okay, and then for the lip today, I'm doing a little bit of a throwback. I'm using this from Fenty. I can't remember. Oh, they were called the Mademoiselles. I don't even know. Are these still available? I'll have to look it up. But I wanted to use something that you can get from, well, what you can probably do instead of this is get one of the lipsticks, which I don't own any of the lipsticks. But you could just get a similar shade in the Fenty lipsticks that launched this year. But this one is in the shade Single. And then I'm going to top it off with a Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream, which I'm obsessed with all the Gloss Bombs. Gloss Bomb Heat, Cream, Original. Just get them all. They're all really good. But I'm going to be using the shade Fenty Glow in the Gloss Bomb Cream to top it off. Okay, so last but not least, before I let my hair down and show y'all the final look, I'm going to set my face one more time. But this time we're going to use a finishing, well, it's a setting spray. This one is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is their Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. So what I'm going to do, I've shown you guys this technique before, but I really like to do this specifically for my oily skin. And also I just find that it helps my makeup to last a lot longer throughout the day, is I'm actually going to spray my beauty sponge with the setting spray and then press the setting spray onto my skin. So we're just going to spray and then just press it in. And I mean, you could just spray it directly onto your face, but I have just found that this just works really well for me, especially for like keeping my makeup from being transfer proof onto my mask and just throughout the day. I don't know what it is about this particular like technique of spraying a beauty blender and pressing the spray onto your face, but it just gets it done. So try it, let me know how you like it, but just know the final locking in of the makeup, this is how I do it. All right, y'all, so this is the final look. Went ahead and got myself together. Like I said, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial showing you guys all of my Sephora recommendations in action. I, of course, will have some other tutorials coming for you guys really soon, but I at least wanted to show you guys the new House Lab shade that I got, because I mentioned to you guys I was going to be returning that, and then also just kind of showing you guys how I've been enjoying using some of the products that I mentioned to you guys in my recommendations. I, of course, did not show you every single thing I recommended, so if you missed that video, be sure to check it out. I will link it for you guys at the end of this video, and all of the products that I share for you guys in this video will also be linked down below in the description box. So yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know down below if you're shopping the sale. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you like the vibe of the channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.